Hi guys, it's me, Delicious Delights, and welcome to my channel. So today's video is going to be the most disappointing perfume releases, women's perfume releases of 2019. These would be my top three of all of the releases that were released this year, and there have been a lot of releases. So before I begin, a little bit of a disclaimer. I don't think these fragrances stink, and I don't think that they're bad. If you guys like any of these fragrances, then I'm happy for you. Honestly, I am. But these are just perfumes that disappointed me. Just my personal opinion. Please don't take it personally. But I think it's okay to share these, my thoughts about perfumes, whether they're good or bad. I just wouldn't see the point of reviewing if I only talked about fragrances that were amazing, But that's just my opinion. That's how I like to do things on my channel, to share both the good and the bad. And this is going to be my bottom three, or my top three most disappointing fragrances for me of 2019. So in third place is a fragrance from the house of YSL. This was a very, very anticipated perfume, at least for me. This is called Libre. Okay, so first of all, something positive. The bottle is probably the most gorgeous bottle that I've seen this entire year. It is absolutely stunning, you guys. Just looking at it, the design of it is like perfection. Absolutely gorgeous. But the perfume, the perfume didn't live up to my expectations. I guess after a while with certain houses, you do build up expectations in your mind, especially when it comes to new releases based on what they've released in the past. But unfortunately, it seems that things in the past, at least in my opinion, are a lot more interesting than what's being released this year. So because my expectations were so high with this one, when I actually tested it more than a few times, I was just disappointed that they have gone from YSL Cinema up here, also Manifesto, all those beautiful fragrances. There's also, like, on the men's side, there's Kouros and Rive Gauche, all of those like modern classics and other vintage classics. They went from that high standard to releasing Libre, which of course the bottle does live up to that high standard, but the fragrance does not. So I'm gonna give this a quick sniff. Okay. So to me, in the beginning of this fragrance, in the opening, what I get most on my skin is a chemical musk. It's just a chemical musk bomb on me, and it's not very pleasant. It's kind of nutty and warm too. And I also get some florals, more so in the mid and in the dry down of this fragrance. But mostly on my skin, this smells like chemical musk and also cardboard, which is really unusual. I also find that performance with this fragrance on me is really poor. So combine all of that together was just really disappointing. I forgot to mention that I also get a bit of lavender in here too. I mean, it does get better when it does dry down, but this chemical screechy harsh musk is just like, to me, on me, smells really bad. On me. But it probably smells better on other people. But yeah, that one was just really, really, really disappointing to me. All right, so the next one here that was a huge, huge, huge disappointment for me personally is a fragrance that I think it was released last year in America, but in my country where I live in Netherlands, it was just released in 2019, about like a few months ago. And this is called Good Girl. by Carolina Herrera. So I know that a lot of you guys are gonna hate me now. Probably I will get a lot of thumbs downs on this video, I'm sure. Whenever I say something negative or something not good about a perfume, I get like tons and tons and tons of thumbs down. It's crazy. But anyways, Good Girl. I think that the bottle is interesting. You guys all know this about this bottle. It is a high heel that kind of looks like could pass for a weapon. And honestly, I'm still like torn as to whether I think this bottle is nice or not, because I've said this before. At times I find this bottle to be really like innovative, different, eye-catching, and sexy, I guess. But at other times I'm like, what is this? It must feel really, really weird to spray it from here. And I remember doing that in a store. It was just really awkward holding the bottle, and then it looked cheap and it felt kind of cheap. So I'm kind of like this. I don't know yet, but I'd like to know what you guys think about the bottle of Good Girl. But anyways, I think in this case, let me just spray it here. I think with Good Girl Carolina Herrera, I think it's more about the hype. It's more about the advertising with this perfume. It's more about the bottle design. That's what is selling this perfume, and not what is inside, like the actual substance, the actual perfume, the smell. So I find this perfume to be quite gimmicky. I don't really understand, well, I do kind of understand the hype about it, but it's amazing how advertising is so powerful when you can when some people can convince themselves that the perfume inside is absolutely gorgeous because of the bottle. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud, you guys. I could be wrong. But this one to me is supposed to have some really, really beautiful notes. There are beautiful notes listed in here. There's like some cacao, there's tonka bean, there's coffee and vanilla and praline, tuberose. There's just like a beautiful, beautiful sounding notes that sounds like they would go well together. But when I smell this, all I'm getting is like the most generic smelling sweet fragrance. And yeah, I'm trying to find something special about it, something that, you know, would maybe justify how popular this fragrance is. But I can't. And I'm thinking that if this fragrance was just in the most boring, plain bottle that would like blend in with the rest, and if they smelled this, I don't think it would be as popular as it is right now with many, many women wearing it. So yeah, it's an interesting display piece, I'll admit. But for me, I just find it to be very, very ordinary. Nothing really to celebrate. I don't think it stinks though. I don't think it stinks at all. But I just find the hype to be so like huge that when I smell it, I'm like, eh? What's going on here? What is this? And I absolutely love sweet fragrances, but for this one, it's just very middle of the road, average sweet perfume that basically doesn't really do anything for me personally. So that's Good Girl, probably the most overhyped perfume of the year, or at least one of them. Okay, so are you guys okay? So the last one I want to talk about, the number one most disappointing perfume of 2019, in my personal opinion, is a fragrance from the house of Dior. You guys can probably guess what it is if you guys have been watching me for a while. This is the flanker of Dior Joy. This is Dior Joy Intense. So that's what the bottle looks like. It's pretty much the same, very similar to the original one. So let me just spray this on here so I can sniff it while I talk to you guys. So this is the number one. And why? Well, gosh, So to me, this smells very, very chemically to my nose. It's pretty much chemicals in a bottle to me. And of course, perfumes are all chemically, but this actually smells like toxic chemicals to me, okay? It has this like sparkling, fruity chemical opening, and also some light florals in the background. It honestly reminds me of hairspray, like Aquanet hairspray, which is a very chemical sweet scent. It's kind of citrusy in the opening, citrusy, fruity, and sparkling, as I said, but honestly, when I smell this, all I can think of is hairspray from the 80s when I used to do my hair in that, I don't know what it's called, but it was like when you would tease it, like here, and then it would be like a big fan type of thing. It was like that, if it looks like that. Which I used to do that in the 80s. I used to tease my hair and then use like Aquanet, a lot of it, and it stayed like that for the entire day. So although those were fun times and great memories of the 80s, because I'm an 80s baby, I love the 80s. That's what I smell like. I don't want to smell like that in a perfume, you know? It just smells to me like a body mist as well, like from the drugstore, and not like a good kind, because there are some good drugstore body mists out there, but this one is just, to me, a complete disaster. I'm not sure what Dior is doing now. Like, I don't know. It's kind of feeling, I kind of feel like Dior is kind of falling apart as a house in general, because they have some really fantastic perfumes that they have released in the past. Of course, there's the Dior Poison and Hypnotic Poison, and you guys know all about that. And there's also Dior Addict, which is one of my absolute faves. Of course, there's Dior Homme Intense and Dior Homme, just absolutely fantastic, like game-changing perfumes. And then we are in 2019 and they released this, and it smells like hairspray. Like, if I want to smell like this, honestly, I'm gonna go buy some hairspray from the dollar store and like spray my clothes, because that's that's basically what I get out of Dior Joy. All right, so those were my top 3 most disappointing perfume releases for women's designer fragrances of 2019. I would love to hear what you guys think about this. I'd love to hear which your picks are for the most disappointing perfumes that were released. I hope I didn't offend too many of you, but in any case, that's it. I don't know what to say. I'm kind of like drawing a blank. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will be back with more videos soon. Take care. Bye-bye.